Hello and welcome back to Like Maria. Today we're going to talk about Lady Macbeth, and I'm going to give you 5 things that Lady Macbeth does in the play to enable you to analyse her character. So after today you'll know all about Lady Macbeth, just like Maria. Please remember to ping the like button. Okay, so first off is that Lady Macbeth appears on stage reading the letter that Macbeth sends to her. And she understands the content of this. He's mentioned that the witches have predicted about becoming king, but she fears that he has too much of the milk of human kindness. She fears, I think she terms it as he wants the sickness. He doesn't have the illness. He lacks it to become the person who might achieve this. So she decides when she's reading this letter, Macbeth isn't going to get this on his own, and she's going to chastise him with the valour of her tongue. She's going to talk to him. She's going to pour stuff into his ear in that kind of metaphorical sense, and she's going to make him have this illness and become hungry and ready for kingship. So that's number 1. She reads the letter and makes a decision about how she's going to corrupt her husband. Number 2 is when Macbeth comes to her and saying, we're not going to proceed in this matter. She says, yes, we are. She convinces him that in order to become a proper man, to be a proper man, he must do this. She says, screw your courage to the sticking place. She plans out the murder and convinces him that it should be done. So she is the kind of technician, really, of the murder, and she convinces him to do it, and she plans it all out and works out that they're going to drug the guards and all of that. So she is the master planner, we might say here. Okay. Third action that is really key for Lady Macbeth here is that when Macbeth comes to her after the murder with carrying the bloody daggers that he's done the deed with, she tells him to take them back, but they can't be here, he can't have them, and he's too scared. He says, I can't go back, I won't go back. So she takes control, and a lot of the things that Lady Macbeth does in the play early on are to do with her power and control. She takes control, takes the daggers, takes them back, and incriminates the guards who are sleeping outside of Duncan's room. So there she has a very positive role to play in the cover-up operation. Okay, number 4, really key this, and again is where she takes control. The big scene where she does this is at the banquet. So Macbeth is seeing Banquo's ghost. He's really stressing out, he's panicked about it, he's moving around the set on stage, seeing the ghost everywhere. There's lots of asides between Macbeth and Lady Macbeth. The key thing she does is she covers for him. She excuses his behaviour to the assembled gentry, and she tries to make him control himself, tries to make him act normal. She covers up and talks about he's been taken with an illness, and she gets him out of the situation. So there again, she sorts out something that Macbeth has messed up, and she takes control. And this in particular, again, is taking control of the cover-up, the deal. Okay, number 5, last action I'm going to talk about is when she appears late on in the play, and clearly she has declined psychologically, mentally. She is sleepwalking, she carries a light, a taper, and she is miming washing of her hands quite significantly there. She is trying to get away the spot of blood or the spot of guilt that is staining on her hands. So this is another key action of Lady Macbeth, that she is at the end of the play accepting or acknowledging guilt, or it's there in her actions. The guilt is on her hands, she feels, and she has, instead of all the bravado and control and power at the beginning of the play, become a kind of victim of the murder, a victim of the guilt, and she's not able to sustain her power. So there you have it, 5 actions that Lady Macbeth does. She reads the letter and gets the plan in place. She convinces Macbeth to stick to the plan. She takes the daggers back to incriminate the guards, and she covers for Macbeth at the banquet, and we see her in her sad state at the end, coming in, sleepwalking, washing her hands.